Last night, someone broke into my car and stole a bunch of my stuff out of it. There's no joke here. I'm not joking. I don't know what you're waiting for. Oh, I guess you're waiting for the intro. Okay. Hey guys, it's good to see you like always. It's me, your favorite geeky vlogger, Matt Walker, otherwise known as Mage Emotion Matt. And I am not joking. Yesterday, I got a text from my friends, and they wanted to have lunch. So at about 11 o'clock, I went out to my car. I unlocked it because the door was locked, and I saw in the front seat all my stuff had been thrown out of the glove box and out of the little dashboard compartment. And so I was looking around, and I was like, this is kind of weird. I didn't leave it like this. And I looked in the dashboard compartment, and I noticed that my insurance card was gone. And so my first thought was, oh, my dad was in here looking for the insurance card for whatever reason. Then I started to poke around a little bit more, and I noticed that my pocket change was gone. Not all of it, but some of it, most of it, except a few nickels and pennies at the bottom of a little thing I keep changing. And 2 scratch-off tickets worth about $2 each were missing. And I thought, I have been robbed. And I was. I asked my dad, were you in my car? And he goes, no. And then that was when I realized that someone had broken into my car and stolen stuff from me. It was upsetting, you know. It was really kind of, I was in shock a little bit. I was like, whoa. In my own driveway, in our pretty nice neighborhood, someone came in and robbed me, was in my car and stole my stuff. But it was like $3 worth of stuff. It wasn't too bad until I was driving down the road to go meet my friends. And I realized that I had left my laptop bag in the back seat. And I turn around and it's gone. Now, the laptop itself and the bag, you know, wasn't worth too much, maybe $500. It was more than I have, by the way. But there's also a USB drive in there that was worth maybe $100 too. So a chunk of money, but on that USB drive was a bunch of videos that I was editing, including one of a friend of mine that just moved overseas that I was making for him. So that was kind of sucky. And my laptop, of course, which had a bunch of stuff I had been writing on it, and I used it all through college. But it was like, this is just stuff, you know, all this is stuff that can be replaced. But there were a couple things in that bag that I can't replace. In that bag was my Bible, and along with that Bible was my journal. It's like a notebook, right? That notebook I started it when I moved to Athens, and I just moved home from Athens, as you know, and inside of it I wrote a whole bunch of everything. I wrote my thoughts and my prayers and what I believed that God was teaching me, stuff I had learned in the Bible. I had chronicled my prayers being answered. I wrote down all my thoughts when my grandparents died in 2016. All 3 grandparents I ever knew, they all died in the same year, and I have thoughts about all of that in there. And what we prayed about and what we saw happen as a family through all of that. I wrote and brought that journal with me all 3 times to my Dominican Republic mission trips. And you guys know how much that means to me. All the stories, every day I was in that journal while I was down in the DR, writing about what was happening, what we saw happening in the villages, and what we were praying for, and what we saw God doing, which were some incredible things. In that journal, I wrote down all of the kids and teenagers that I've gotten to work with over the years, that I've got to see grow, and again see their hearts come on fire for Jesus and for the love that they have experienced and been growing in. I wrote all of that down. I wrote down some very, very personal things about me, and my friends, and some really personal spiritual things, really detailed and really intimate, and but a lot of it was just prayer, and a lot of it was just keeping track of what God was teaching me. And it was about 200 pages. It was a little fake leather-bound book I got at Barnes & Noble for like $10. And it was 200 pages. And I was 2 blank pages away from filling up the entire book. Just 2 pages away. And it was stolen from me. It's gone. And I don't expect I'll ever hold that book in my hands again. And I'm okay with that. Let me tell you why. Probably my favorite novel of all time is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. And yes, I am a big fan of the musical as well. Even the one with Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe. Actually, I'm a very big fan of that one, and I will fight you over it. So, in the story of Les Mis, Jean Valjean is a thief. And one day, because he was desperate and he had nothing left, a priest took him into the church one day. Now, the priest was a very godly, very upstanding man. He gave all of his money to the poor. He converted the church into a homeless shelter, basically. He took care of the nuns that were there. He did wonderful things for orphans and widows, and he was a very upstanding guy. Anything he had went to the people less fortunate than him. And so, of course, naturally, he takes in Jean Valjean. Now, Jean Valjean, under the cover of night, he robs the kindly priest of every valuable he has. And he takes off into the night without the priest even knowing. But the police catch the thief, Jean Valjean, and bring him back to the priest and throw him at his feet and say,
"We have your silver. We caught this man red-handed."
And the priest does something that is one of my favorite acts of mercy in all of fiction. He says to the police, with Jean Valjean sitting right there, "This man is not a thief. I gave him my valuables, but not only that, I want to give him something else that he forgot before he left this morning." And he hands him 2 candlesticks. Those 2 candlesticks, we read in the first few chapters of the book, are the priest's most prized and personal possessions. He has very specific reasons for loving these candlesticks. They mean a lot to him. He has emotional ties to these. He has spiritual ties to these candlesticks. But he sees Jean Valjean, the thief that stole everything from him, and said, "I'm going to show him mercy, and I'm going to show him love, and I'm going to let him off the hook, because that is what grace does." And he handed Jean Valjean his candlesticks as a gift and said that Jesus loves you no matter what. I want you to know this, and I want you to have this stuff with one condition: that you use it to become a better man than you are today. And I was thinking about that scene while I was just really upset over my journal, and I want to be like that priest. And I probably won't ever see the thief that broke into my car and stole about $1,000 worth of stuff, including my journal, which is priceless. But what I would say to the thief, if he were standing before me, or if he's watching this video, it's a gift. You can have it. It wasn't right what you did, but take it. And I want you to read every page of that journal and that Bible And I want you to know just what the priest wanted Jean Valjean to know. That Jesus loves you no matter what. That God forgives you no matter what you've done. And I hope that you go forward and you're a better man than you were yesterday. At the end of Les Mis, after Jean Valjean was shown this act of kindness, he did become a different person, and he was an example of love towards many people. He raised an orphan. He fought righteously for the poor and the downtrodden. And at the end of his life, when he died, he met the priest, the bishop, again, and they entered into heaven together as brothers. And I think that is such a cool thing. And I hope one day that's the case with whoever stole my stuff. Now, they didn't know that what they were doing was not just a desperate act of robbery. They saw my laptop bag and the computer inside and thought I can probably get a couple $100 for this. They didn't know the sentimental and spiritual and emotional value that the notebook had. But I really do believe that there's a plan for all of this, that God allows things to happen for a reason, even the things that don't feel fair or they feel like they hurt us. And I want that thief to read that entire book. I want them to see the story of a person who was broken and who has messed up plenty of times, but also the story of a God that loves him and can do miracles. I know this was not a geeky vlog video, which is normally what I do on this channel. I mean, heck, yesterday, after I was robbed, just to kind of distract me from it, I played through Star Fox 64 on live stream, and you can actually watch that video. And I know this was really serious and really spiritual and all that kind of stuff, but I just wanted to say it, because that's what a vlog is, right? It's just a record of my life. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Let's watch an animated end card.
Is to see the face of God.
As always, there are a lot of great YouTubers out there, and the fact that you just chose to spend the last few minutes with me, it really means a lot. Be sure to check out this cool video. I'm sure you'll love it. Or maybe this one. It's the newest. If you want to see more, subscribe and we'll hang out again soon. Thanks for watching. Until next time, ding!